Hello students. Today we are going to continue with Microorganisms Friend and Foe chapter 2 of class 8. With the continuation of the topics, we are dealing with how to avoid spreading of microorganisms in today's session. Okay. So almost today the chapter is going to get over, and this is the last topic of our chapter that we are dealing with. That is how to avoid spreading of microorganisms. Done with useful microorganisms, then harmful microorganisms, and the leftover is how to avoid those spreading of microorganisms. Okay, in order with that, let's try to understand. First one is that wash your hands before eating, after preparing food, and after using toilets. So this is we need to maintain. Okay, in order to avoid spreading of microorganisms. So wash your hands before eating. Every time, whenever you go out or whenever you play, you come from play. So wash your hands before eating. Then after preparing of food also, you need to wash your hands. Okay, and after using toilets also, you need to wash your hands. These are some of the beneficial preventive measures that we need to carry out in order to get avoided from microorganisms. And the next one we have written here is cover your mouth while you cough or sneeze. Okay, every time we used to say this. Okay, cover your mouth in order to avoid spreading of microorganisms. Okay, cover your mouth while coughing and sneezing. Bayi muchkondu kemmi sheeni anta edakke heltara in order of spreading of microorganisms. And the next one is keep yourself away from others people that are suffering from any diseases. Okay, just have some distance between the person who is affected from any disease to the person who is normally good at health. Okay, just keep some distances in order to prevent the measures. And the next one we have here is do not eat food which is not fresh or not cooked properly. Okay, this is one of the major cause that you need to eat the fresh food. Okay, so sumne food hard admele alsodmele tindre it won't be good. Even that will help in a spoiling of our health only. And not cooked properly. So whatever we cook, it has to be cooked properly. When it is not cooked properly, what happens? Microorganisms get into our body and we get sick, ill. So these are the avoid spreading of microorganisms, and I want you children to maintain this beneficial aspects for future days. Then conditions that promote microorganisms growth. Dealing with conditions that promote microorganisms growth. So among that, first one is food having high moisture content. We need to carefully look on food having high moisture content. Okay, high moisture content ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ತೇವ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು, ಹಸಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. Okay, food having high moisture content. Then food kept for long time at room temperature. Even that is the condition to promote microorganisms growth. Food when we kept the time for room temperature for a long time. And then when skin of fruits and vegetables get damaged, exposing food to microorganisms. Okay, what happens when skin of fruits and vegetables get damaged? Exposing food to the microorganism. It leads to exposing of microorganisms. So horgade ನಾವು say for example any fruit, okay, or any vegetable ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕೊಳ್ತೋಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. So what we do, we throw it out. And the next one is food with low salt content, low sugar or acid content. This is the condition to promote the microorganisms growth. So what happens? Food with low salt content, low sugar or acid content. These are some of the conditions that promote microorganisms growth. And next one is we are dealing with methods of preserving food at home. So when this all taken care is done, we need to preserve food at home, isn't it? So we do have some methods for this. The very first one is dehydration and freezing, increasing temperature, and using preservatives. These are some of the methods of preserving food at home. What is the dehydration, freezing, increasing temperature, and using preservatives? So let's try to understand with the basic concepts of this. So dehydration means, it means removing water or moisture from food. Okay, dehydration andre removing of water or moisture from food. Okay, moisture content ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ or water outlet part. To removal of food, we call it as dehydration. It can be sun drying. Okay, it can be sun drying also. So for example, ginger powder, ಒಣ ಶುಂಠಿ ಪುಡಿ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, that is ginger powder. Potato chips, fenugreek, that is methi, kasturi methi ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ, that is the example that we have taken here for dehydration. I hope you children got an idea with what is dehydration. So moving on with next, that is lowering temperature. What does lowering temperature mean? Lowering temperature mean, as low temperature slows down the activity of microorganisms. So what happens? As low temperature slows down, the activity of microorganisms takes place. Okay, for this we make use of refrigerators for preserving food items. What we do, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇಗ ಕೊಳ್ತೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ತರಕಾರಿ ಆಗಲಿ, ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ, ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ದಟ್, what we do, we keep those fresh vegetables or fruits, anything it may be, we keep them in refrigerators, isn't it? So example is cooked dal, bele, basic bele. Okay, this is the example for that. And the next one is increasing temperature. What does the increasing temperature mean? By increasing temperature, enzymes and microorganisms are destroyed. What happens here? By increasing temperature, enzymes and microorganisms are destroyed. So increasing temperature madre, obviously enzymes and microorganisms will get destroyed. Destroyed in the sense that kills out. Okay, and then it involves two methods. What are the two methods that it involves? That is, very first one is pasteurization and next one is sterilization. What does pasteurization and sterilization mean? See, these two methods are used in KMF, that is Nandini milk. Okay, idರಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. In milk packets you can see that pasteurized milk tones, isn't it? So this is, ಈ ಮೆಥಡ್ನ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ KMF ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So pasteurization means it's a process of heating food item to high temperature and then quickly cooling it. Okay, as microorganisms cannot withstand change in temperature, therefore they get destroyed. Got it? So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it's a process of heating food item for high temperature, ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಯಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ microorganisms cannot withstand the change in temperature, therefore they get destroyed. And done with pasteurization, isn't it? And what does sterilization mean? Sterilization andre, it is the food items that are exposed to high temperature for longer time. What happens here? We quickly cools down, isn't it? But here what happens? We keep it for a longer time. In some cases, high pressure also, by doing some microorganisms get destroyed. So what happens in sterilization? ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಬೇಗ ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕೀಪ್ ಸ್ಟೆರಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮೆಷಿನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ, ವೇರ್ ವಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಯುಬೇಟ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸತ್ತೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. I can show you the picture of that in the school. Okay, so sterilization machine will be there for this. So in this, food items are exposed to high temperature, tumba high temperature ge hogtare for longer time, and in some cases high pressure also, by doing some microorganisms get destroyed. And the next one is using preservatives. What does that mean? Using preservatives. So using preservative means any substance that is added to food to keep it for long time, we use preservatives. Say for example, uppinkai. ಓಕೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಾವು ಉಪ್ಪು ಹಾಕಿ ಉಪ್ಪಿನಕಾಯಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಣ್ಣೆನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹಾಳಾಗಬಾರ್ದು ಬೇಗ. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ದಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಎನಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಡೆಡ್ ಟು ಫುಡ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲಾಂಗರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಲೆಮನ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಾಳಿಕೆ ಬರಲಿ ಅಂತ ಲೆಮನ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯಿಲ್, ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್, ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಶುಗರ್. ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇದಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ acids. Okay, these are some of the preservatives. We have two preservatives over here. One is natural preservative and another one is chemical preservative. What is natural preservative? Where salt is a natural preservative, sugar, lemon juice and oil, spices. These are the four natural preservatives we come across in natural. Okay, ಡೇ ಟು ಡೇ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್, ಶುಗರ್, ಲೆಮನ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಯಿಲ್, ಸ್ಪೈಸಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅಸ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್. ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಥರನೇ ವಿ ಡೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಟಿವ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಟು keep it for a longer time. So which are those? We use potassium metabisulfate. Okay, say for example, in malls you might have seen, to preserve food in refrigerators they use some chemicals. So potassium metabisulfate, citric acid and sodium benzoate. Many other is used, but here I have just written with three concepts of chemical preservatives, that is potassium metabisulfate, citric acid and sodium bisulfate. So this completes here chapter, children. Next again we are going to deal with next chapter for the further sections. Thank you.